What is the coronavirus? The current global outbreak is caused by COVID-19, an illness caused by a novel coronavirus. Human coronaviruses are common and are typically associated with mild illnesses, similar to the common cold. The coronavirus is considered novel because it hasn't been previously identified in humans, and we haven't developed any vaccines or immunities against it. Coronavirus symptoms may be very mild or more serious, such as fever, cough, and difficulty breathing. Coronavirus symptoms may take up to 14 days to appear after exposure to the virus. How can I help prevent spreading the coronavirus? There are a few simple things you can do. Stay home if you're sick, wash your hands thoroughly and frequently, avoid touching your face, practice proper coughing etiquette, avoid regular physical greetings, hugging, shaking hands, and clean and disinfect surfaces and objects regularly touched by many people. Prevent coronavirus transmission. The coronavirus is a respiratory illness that's spread through contact, so there are a few simple things you can do to help prevent coronavirus transmission. Stay home if you're sick. Also encourage anyone you know who's sick to also stay home until they no longer have any symptoms. Wash your hands frequently and thoroughly. Washing your hands with regular soap and warm water for at least 20 seconds several times a day will help prevent the spread of the virus. Avoid touching your face. Even if you have the virus on your hands, you're less likely to get infected if you don't touch your nose, eyes, or mouth. Practice proper coughing, sneezing etiquette. Cough or sneeze into your elbow rather than covering your face with your hands. Avoid regular physical greetings. Instead of hugs or handshakes, opt for a friendly wave or an elbow bump. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects. This includes your mobile device, toys, and doorknobs. How can I prepare for a coronavirus outbreak? First off, it's important not to panic, as there are a few simple steps you can take to get ready for a potential coronavirus outbreak. Stock up on essential household items so you can self-isolate if needed. Update your 72-hour emergency kit, beef up your emergency fund, and make sure you have some emergency cash on hand, just in case.
First significant coronavirus mutation discovered in preliminary study. Scientists have reported in a preliminary study what they believe is the first significant mutation of the coronavirus which causes the COVID-19 disease. But experts told Newsweek it is unlikely the finding will jeopardize efforts to create a vaccine to prevent COVID-19. The authors of the study examined the genetic makeup of 106 samples of SARS-CoV-2, the name of the coronavirus which causes COVID-19, from a database. They compared these with 39 genome sequences of SARS, the virus which triggers severe acute respiratory syndrome (SARS) and started an outbreak in 2002. The complete or near-complete data on SARS-CoV-2 spanned 54 records from the US, 35 from China, 3 from Spain, 2 for Brazil, and 1 each from Australia, Finland, India, Italy, Nepal, South Korea, and Sweden. The team published their findings on the website bioarchive, meaning it hasn't undergone the rigorous peer review process required to publish in scientific journals. Releasing studies this way enables scientists to prompt debate on a topic, which can be helpful in a fast-changing situation like a pandemic. SARS-CoV-2, the COVID-19 virus, was found to have a much lower mutation rate and genetic diversity than SARS during the 2002 and 2003 outbreak. A relatively stable genome of SARS-CoV-2 is a good indication for the epidemic control, as less mutation raises the hope of the rapid development of a valid vaccine and antiviral drugs, the researchers wrote. For instance, the genes which code for the COVID-19 virus spike protein, which enables it to attach to human cells, largely stayed the same. Analysis of one sample collected in India on January 27, 2020 showed the first evidence of a significant mutation of SARS-CoV-2, which appeared to make it less able to bind to a receptor on human cells called ACE2. The researchers said this finding raises the alarm that the ongoing vaccine development may become futile in future epidemic if more mutations were identified. Commenting on their results as a whole, the team wrote, as the virus continues to spread rapidly around the world, and more genomic data is accumulated, the evolution and mutation dynamics of SARS-CoV-2 still need to be monitored closely. They said, we confirmed that SARS-CoV-2 has a relatively low mutation rate but also proved that novel mutation with varied virulence and immune characteristics have already emerged. Jenna Michochi, lecturer in immunology at the University of Sussex who did not work on the study, told Newsweek, "I don't think the study tells us much, although it's an important aspect of the virology of this pandemic to monitor." Michochi explained, "Every virus will have a period of adaptation when it enters a new host. As SARS-CoV-2 is spreading with relative ease, there is less selective pressure for it to mutate dramatically," she said. Small mutations would be expected with any virus. The emerged mutation in this report appears to reduce binding to ACE2, meaning less virulence, which could potentially mean less ability to infect. But as this is an isolated report, this doesn't necessarily mean vaccine attempts are futile, said Michochi. Asked whether the findings have implications for the creation of a vaccine, Michochi said, "According to the study, it has a lower mutation rate, particularly the S protein spike, which is the target of many vaccines. This is reassuring that this is a good target for vaccines. We do not know if the changes reported would change the ability of protective antibodies against spike to be redundant. The fact the study was not peer-reviewed and involved a small sample limits the significance of the findings," Michochi argued. In addition, the data from the new strain was collected at the end of January in India, and it would be useful to see how this affected the severity of the disease, she said. Ian Jones, professor of virology at the UK's University of Reading who also did not work on the study, told Newsweek, "While analysis of the virus to date has shown a sporadic set of mutations as expected of RNA viruses, including coronaviruses, there has been no obvious selection of distinct variants. RNA refers to the genetic material of the virus, and germs of this type are known to mutate easily as they spread. Even when this has been suggested, as in this Taiwanese study, the key part of the virus required for vaccine design has not changed. Thus, a very thin silver lining to the epidemic is that vaccine and therapeutics tested now should be equally applicable later in the year or in years to come." According to Johns Hopkins University, more than 1.9 million COVID-19 cases have been confirmed around the world, almost 121,000 people have died, and nearly 465,000 have recovered. As the Statista map below shows, the virus has spread to every continent except Antarctica. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention advice on using face coverings to slow spread of COVID-19. CDC recommends wearing a cloth face covering in public where social distancing measures are difficult to maintain. A simple cloth face covering can help slow the spread of the virus by those infected and by those who do not exhibit symptoms. Cloth face coverings can be fashioned from household items. Cloth face coverings should be washed regularly. A washing machine will suffice. Practice safe removal of face coverings by not touching eyes, nose, and mouth, and wash hands immediately after removing the covering. World Health Organization advice for avoiding spread of coronavirus disease COVID-19 hygiene advice: clean hands frequently with soap and water, or alcohol-based hand rub. Wash hands after coughing or sneezing, when caring for the sick, before, during and after food preparation, before eating, after using the toilet, when hands are visibly dirty, and after handling animals or waste. Maintain at least 1 meter (3 feet) distance from anyone who is coughing or sneezing. Avoid touching your hands, nose and mouth. Do not spit in public. Cover your mouth and nose with a tissue or bent elbow when coughing or sneezing. Discard the tissue immediately and clean your hands. Medical advice: avoid close contact with others if you have any symptoms. Stay at home if you feel unwell, even with mild symptoms such as headache and runny nose, to avoid potential spread of the disease to medical facilities and other people. If you develop serious symptoms, fever, cough, difficulty breathing, seek medical care early and contact local health authorities in advance. Note any recent contact with others and travel details to provide to authorities who can trace and prevent spread of the disease. Stay up to date on COVID-19 developments issued by health authorities and follow their guidance. Mask and glove usage: healthy individuals only need to wear a mask if taking care of a sick person. Wear a mask if you are coughing or sneezing. Masks are effective when used in combination with frequent hand cleaning. Do not touch the mask while wearing it. Clean hands if you touch the mask. Learn how to properly put on, remove and dispose of masks. Clean hands after disposing of the mask. Do not reuse single-use masks. Regularly washing bare hands is more effective against catching COVID-19 than wearing rubber gloves. The COVID-19 virus can still be picked up on rubber gloves and transmitted by touching your face. Coronavirus cure, vaccine, treatment update, scientists discover potential cure. The whole world is on a race against the clock in finding coronavirus cure and treatment that will be a game changer in this whole crisis. Below are the promising trials that make us closer to curing COVID-19. Ivermectin, BGR reported that scientists in Australia have reportedly discovered a new potential coronavirus cure that can eliminate traces of the virus in 48 hours. The drug called ivermectin is an antiviral drug that was developed in the mid-1970s to fight parasites such as head lice, scabies, and other diseases caused by roundworms and whipworms. Taken once every 6 to 12 months, ivermectin can also kill larvae and adult worms. It's also been used in HIV, dengue fever, and Zika treatments. A team of scientists from Monash University's Biomedicine Discovery Institute (BDI) and the Peter Doherty Institute of Infection and Immunity has concluded that the drug could form the basis of a COVID-19 vaccine. We found that even a single dose could essentially remove all viral RNA by 48 hours and that even at 24 hours, there was a really significant reduction in it. Ivermectin is very widely used and seen as a safe drug. We need to figure out now whether the dosage you can use it at in humans will be effective. That's the next step, BDI's Dr. Kylie Wagstaff said about the drug. The drug has been tested in vitro and human trials are needed to prove its effectiveness. Avigan, on the 28th of March, Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe designated Avigan, a drug developed by Fujifilm, as Japan's standard treatment for COVID-19 following a report that COVID-19 patients in a hospital in Shenzhen treated with favipiravir tested negative for the virus after a median of 4 days, rather than the 11 days it took for members of the study's control group to test negative. In another study carried out in Wuhan, patients taking the drug allegedly recovered from fever nearly 2 days earlier than those who did not take the medication. The antiviral pill works by inhibiting the replication of viral genes within infected cells, thereby mitigating the virus' ability to spread from one cell to another. The Fujifilm team is in the middle of a clinical trial using the antiviral pill that will conclude in June. Other countries like Turkey and Indonesia have asked Japan for Avigan to conduct their own clinical trials. Vaccines. Several pharmaceutical companies in the US and Europe are working with the World Health Organization (WHO) in developing a vaccine for COVID-19. A vaccine will be ready between 12 months to 18 months, although clinical testing is already underway. Solidarity Trial. WHO announced on the 18th of March that it will conduct a study called the Solidarity Trial. The Solidarity Trial provides simplified procedures to enable even hospitals that have been overloaded to participate. Many countries have already confirmed that they will join the Solidarity Trial: Argentina, Bahrain, Canada, France, Iran, Norway, South Africa, Spain, Switzerland and Thailand, and I trust many more will join. Unlike regular clinical trials that are double-blind so that patients won't know if they're getting the drug that's tested or a placebo, the new studies will test the new therapies on all patients. Participating hospitals can enroll subjects with ease. The doctor will enter the patient's data in a WHO site, including pre-existing conditions that could alter the course of the COVID-19 disease, and the participant will have to sign an informed consent form. The physician will also list the available drugs in the hospital, and the WHO will randomly assign the patient to one of the therapies available. After that, physicians will only have to record the day the patient leaves the hospital or dies, and whether he or she required oxygen or ventilation. Solidarity Trial will test 4 treatments: remdesivir, chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine, ritonavir, lopinavir, and ritonavir-lopinavir mixed with interferon beta. However, it is important to note that the WHO claimed that there is no specific medicine to prevent or treat coronavirus disease COVID-19. Prevention is still the best cure. If you have mild symptoms, stay at home until you've recovered. You can relieve your symptoms if you rest and sleep, keep warm, drink plenty of liquids, use a room humidifier, or take a hot shower to help ease a sore throat and cough.